Okay, so we're back. Another video for the week. Um, I don't remember when the last time we did a Bible episode, but that's what we're gonna do today. We got to get into Leviticus. Um, yeah, we went off on a tangent, so we got to come back and review Leviticus. Um, yeah. So Leviticus is a book. It's about of the Bible. It's about God provide. It's a book of like rules and steps that God wanted the Israelites to follow. After what happened in the last book of the Bible that we covered, Exodus, with them worshiping the calf and them disobeying the Ten Commandments, which they got into a lot of trouble with God. And Leviticus is the following book with God mapping out a way, because he is so mad at them that he can tolerate us. He can deal with us going forward. And I got notes here, of course. I mean, when you are, I don't care what you say, when you are studying the Bible, you gotta have notes, especially if you're gonna do a video. So, before I get started, I appreciate you all, everybody that's been watching. My viewing numbers are going up, and it's because of y'all. So I appreciate whoever's watching the content, enjoying the content, hating the content. I don't care how you feel, as long as you are watching and you are getting something out of it. Even if it is negativity or positivity, it don't matter. I appreciate you though, for real. Comment, I appreciate the comments as well. Let's see. So yeah, God's providing a way for corrupted people to live in his presence. So it states in the Bible that God is holy, and this might be a long video, I don't know. But it states in the Bible that God is holy and we are not. So he's already holy and we are not. This is the way that it puts it in Leviticus. I might be getting ahead of myself, but in our current form, we cannot be in the presence of God because he's more holy. It's more like a power thing, and it's almost like, we can't handle being in his presence. That's the way that Leviticus puts it, without doing proper things. Let's see what else I've covered. So yeah, he breaks it down into like 3 ways that we can become holy, to be in his presence, to withstand his presence. And he's talking to the Israelites at this time. You can do three things. You can perform rituals. You can have priests that are qualified and used as mediators between God and Israel and his people. And purity as well from the Israelites. You got 2 types of rituals. Let me see. Rituals, priests, and yeah, becoming pure. I was wondering what I read. Becoming pure is the last one. So there's 2 kinds of rituals that you can do then. This is in the book of Leviticus. You can do a thank you ritual. Means I'm sorry. Thank you. You can do 2 of them. Thank you and I'm sorry. The thank you is presenting like let's see. It was grains. It was grains and fellowship offerings. That's what's in the book. You can present grains to God, and you can do fellowship offerings. They don't really go into detail on what those are. But the I'm sorry rituals are a little bit more detailed. Those are presenting burnt offerings to God, purification, and restitution offerings, which the main thing sticks out to me is the burnt offerings, because throughout the Bible, you see a lot of people presenting offerings of some kind to God, and obviously He's pleased by these things because He has communicated to His people that this is what pleases Him, this is what doesn't pleases Him, this is what doesn't please Him. So they know, at this point, what to do and what not to do, and what He likes and what He doesn't like. There's also 3 ritualistic feasts that one could perform to please God. Those are 7 different feasts. I know the one that stands out, and I think we'll get to it after a while, is the one that the Feast of Atonement, and we'll get into that after a while. But that's the one that stuck out in this book. Priests were called to the highest level of moral integrity and ritual holiness because they are chosen mediators between God and His people. So you would have to become a priest back then, and it was a very let me see if it's here. I got it here. Like the criteria to become a priest. I got it later on in my notes, but this was an instance that stuck out to me in Leviticus when why does it matter to be holy in the presence of God, to be pure in the presence of God. So Aaron was a priest that was bestowed. Him and his family were protected and ordained priests. This was a story that breaks off into Leviticus. 2 of his sons were priests as well, but they were not holy enough to be in God's presence. And one day they walked right into the dwelling temple where God was at, and they died immediately. Just because they weren't prepared, they weren't holy enough to be in God's presence. Like, it was almost like there was nothing they could do to go in. It's kind of like flying a plane and not knowing how to fly a plane. I don't know why that came to me, but like, you're gonna probably crash the plane because you're not knowledgeable enough to fly a plane. You don't know, let's say it's already in the air. You don't know how to land it. You don't know how to navigate it. That's kind of like a correlation to being holy. It's like, you don't know enough. You don't know enough spirit. You're not spiritual enough. You haven't done enough of the things to be in at least in God's eyes. You haven't done enough to be in His presence yet, and you just can't be in His presence. And that's why I wrote here. That's why it's important for Israel priests to become holy before approaching God at this time, because it can cost them their life. And Leviticus breaks down purity and impurity, what it means. And I'll probably finish off this video with this. It might end up having to be a second video, or I might try to muscle through it. I don't know. But impurity. God is holy. The Israelites need to be in a state of holiness themselves to be in His presence. So we keep going over that. That is for a reason. Even today, I kind of correlate today, you have to be living right. You have to be trying to live right. I believe that personally, to fully receive the blessings of God, you have to be somewhat going the right way. God forgives a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? But you have to be somewhat on your path, headed towards Him to start to see the blessings in your life and start to appreciate them as well. Impurity criteria comes into conflict with this will cause you to be impure in God's eyes. So it's coming into contact with reproductive body fluids, by having a skin disease, by touching mold or fungus, by touching a dead body. Eating certain animals would also cause you to become impure as well. So that's where some people get the pork, and I think there's like a list of animals, but the one that sticks out to me is like, we don't eat pork, or certain animals people don't eat, but pork is the biggest one. People say, even in my day-to-day life, I meet people that don't eat pork, and You know, they could say for health reasons, or they could also, you know, go with religious reasons. I've experienced both people in my life. And they were saying that for you to be impure at that time was that you have come into contact with some kind of devil. So the things I just listed were like negative issues associated with death. That will cause you to be impure in God's eyes. So I think I'm feeling like we're gonna just try to muscle through it so we can get through Leviticus and head to the next book in the next video I do. The purity criteria. These are things that would cause you to be pure in God's eyes, and these are things that we probably should pay attention to this day. You know, with me being on SR and sobriety and all that type of stuff, a lot of this stuff is familiar with me, or things I strive for even today. So Israelites were called to live differently than the Canaanites. We all know that the Canaanites are descendants of Canaan, so they were come from a bad line of lineage or whatnot. So this has caused you to be pure. They care for the poor and not overlooking them. They had a high level of sexual integrity. That's where the SR and stuff comes from. That's how you know that we're not just practicing celibacy and stuff like that, just out of nowhere. Practicing celibacy is it's right here in the Bible. So practicing celibacy is a form of getting pure, a form of getting close to God. So definitely something that stuck out to me as somebody that's on SR and stuff like that. Semen retention. They were promoters of justice among their land. And I think that's it. So we'll come back into the feast again. Like I said, the one we can talk about the Feast of Atonement right now. So the priest would take 2 goats. One goat would be the purification offering and would atone for the sins of the people. So they would sacrifice one goat, a good goat, and that would be for the sins of the people. The second goat would be a scapegoat. And we all hear about that all the time in TV, movies, the news, or whatever. You hear the word scapegoat. So the scapegoat is the goat that the sins of the Israel were placed on that goat. Any sins that they collected, any negativity that they collected from their people at that time, they would pray and place those sins upon the animal, and then they would send that go out into the wilderness. And this is a symbol of God removing sin from his people. So they would put all their sins on this second goat, and then they would send the goat off into the wilderness, never to be seen again. And this basically is the end of Leviticus 2. Moses calls Israel to be faithful to the rules of living that God has passed down to them. Moses also says if they obey, then peace and obedience will follow them. So, like I said, Leviticus, in a nutshell, can just be referred to as just the book of the Bible where the rules are laid down, where it's like the 10 Commandments continued, you know what I mean, almost. But if they don't follow these rules that are set for them, then disaster will follow and they will be exiled from their land. And that's how Leviticus ends. The next book is Numbers. We'll be covering that one next. Like I said, I appreciate everybody. Check out the videos. Take time to watch. I really do. Comment and everything. Just want to let you guys know if you're watching the video, I appreciate y'all. And till next time, we drop another video tomorrow for y'all. Peace.